Heyo, it's time to go. Yeah, you know what it is. Get into it. Don't act like you don't already know the name. Let's go. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense. Plus more. What? You heard me. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense. Plus more. What? I said you heard me. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense. Plus more. What? I said you heard me. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense. Plus more. Now it's on. Now let's listen.
Wow. Welcome to Mother and Son Making Sense Out of Nonsense.
Plus more. You know
Oh,
what it is.
oh, I know what it is. Do you know what it is?
I do know what it is. I think I know what it is.
What is it?
It's this. It's as we always say, this is the show, right? This is the show. We've been saying
Well,
that a lot. Well, we have some really magical moments.
as soon as you popped into the existence, into my existence, it's been a magical moment, I must say.
Oh, well, that's very nice of you.
And before we go on, let's do a little business here. Like and subscribe, like and subscribe, like and subscribe. And we are listening on two platforms today. You know, I'm coming from you live from Roseburg, Oregon. So the sound may be a little, I'm just using the computer, and then we're on Noom Vibe. So we have listeners. Welcome. And if you want to, if you have a question, if you're on Noom Vibe, just ask to be a guest, ask to join the stage, and you know how it do. Let's see, is the chat open? Yes, we are ready to go. Hi, Nathan.
Hello, it sounds good. It sounds good and it looks good, by the way.
Oh, well, thank you. Then thank
Yes.
ye. Let's get into it. Let's get into it right off the
Yes.
bat. Who's first?
Well, what do we want to start up with topics? Are we doing word of the week? What are you feeling?
Well, you're a little bit loud on your volume, your
Okay, good.
voice.
No, that's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
I'll go back
There
here.
you go. There
Okay,
you go. Yeah, that's good. Okay. I
perfect.
mean, I'm usually the loud one.
Yeah, I know. That's why it's a little strange. So I'll just throw in a word of the week because it's a fun word. It was Pig Latin, but it's been officiated into the dictionary and into Scrabble official dictionary, and the word is ixnay.
Ixnay.
Utsway?
Ixnay. Ixnay. And it's used in rejecting something specified to cancel or stop. And it originated from the word nix, Nix.
Ixnay.
Ixnay.
Well,
You've heard of ixnay.
I have heard of ixnay, and I'm going to ixnay that word.
There you go. Well, you've already used it once, so that's 1 point for you.
Okay, great. Well, I don't have a word of the day because I'm on vacation, and I just didn't. Well, I had some words, but I didn't remember if we used them before. Anyway, I like ixnay, and I just want to talk about that Pig Latin. When I was in junior high, decades ago, around the Stone Ages, Flintstone and Wilma and Betty and who was the husband? Barney. It was Pig Latin, but then everybody could understand Pig Latin. So instead of Pig Latin, my girlfriend and I started speaking G.
Gee, so you made up, I remember you telling me this, you made up a language.
We didn't make it up.
Oh, it already existed.
Yes.
Oh.
So if your name is Nathan, it would be Nagay Thagun.
Oh, I remember that. Negate the gun, Magother, and son making sense.
Let me do it. I'm the expert.
All right.
Magother again Sagun. Magakaging Sagans Agout Agov Nagan Sagans. Each syllable you have to add a G.
Wow, you are pretty good at it. And good job on us for starting off with some nonsense right away. Now that's some real nonsense.
Wagut?
You you go to me, gurgy. That's fun.
So that's your homework assignment for next week. You've
All
got to
right.
you've got to pergactigus. Remember, if it's a syllable, you have to do each syllable. Pergactigus, hagau, tagu, spagik, jugi.
Gigi. All right. It's just going where Gigi where Gigi goes.
Well, Bagai the go away. We've already lost 2 viewers.
That sucks. This is good stuff.
But I'm not taking it personally, are you?
No, which is actually one of my quotes, if you'd like to hear that.
Please, yes.
Well, again, it's from the Four Agreements, and the quote is, as you make a habit of not taking anything personally, you won't need to place your trust in what others do or say. You will only need to trust yourself to make responsible choices.
Repeat that, please.
Never mind.
Hey, shout out to Kyle. What's up? I have a family that I just met yesterday. You know how the universe works, just
Oh, yes.
all familyed out. Well, I want to get into it. We didn't do a show last week, and last week that was when Trump got shot. And being this happiness specialist, inner peace practitioner, what is my perspective? How do I navigate peace with this choosing a side or even having a side? What's up, Kyle? Choosing a side or even having a side. And you asked me that, and I said, well, I wanted to share it on the show. And Nathan, after 68 years, I know that this having a preference and having a side is just it doesn't work with contentment and peace. And so this is the solution. If I know I have a side, if I know I have a side, that means I'm asleep. Period.
It's as simple as that.
Simple. I'm a simple girl.
You're awake, but you're asleep.
Well, if I choose a side, I know I'm coming from my personhood and not my presence.
Yeah, I think for me, choosing a side feels like I'm seeing it from a small perspective, like a smaller angle. I need to widen my lens to see all angles, all sides. There are really no sides unless it's something I make up or decide that there's a side.
And remember who that I is. And the other thing I wanted to say, which is, there are some people that have posted, uh, the shooter wasn't a good shot. I mean, people that really would have wished his demise. And then my ego is saying, wow, horrible. But the truth is, on both sides, you got this side would wish for that demise, that side wish for the other demise, and both are just, in other words, there is no right side, especially if you're talking about humanness. There is no right side. So I can't have a side. That's what I wanted to say.
No, there's no right side. I'm on the same page, and it's like having a right side to the sun or having the right side to the earth. It's all 360. It's all sides. Some side is dark when the sun is facing the earth in a certain direction, and the other side becomes light again. And
I'm going to say, feel free to ask questions. I'm just putting this in the chat.
yes, and shout out to all of your friends who are my fans.
And shout out to all of your friends who are my.
Absolutely.
Now, I wanted to say something, Nathan. You were talking about your cats, my grandchildren, my two grandchildren, Lexi and Luna. And trust me, if this was a year ago, I would have just shot myself in the head having 2 cats as grandchildren. But I'm with it. I'm in it now. Leaders, you're the quote leader of that house, and usually history leaders. Let me see, because I wrote notes. Hold on a second, let me get my notes. Oh, Usually leaders, and I'm going to say leaders of the world, doesn't leaders of the world are not concerned with anybody else's energy but their own. And the followers are always concerned with someone else's the followers are concerned with the leader's energy. Am I making sense?
Yes, yes.
So the leader is not concerned with anyone's energy, but the followers are always concerned about the leader's energy. So I'm saying that you're the leader in that house with those two cats. And for a leader, you, wait, you, to be concerned or to be aware, scratch the concern, to be aware and conscious and accepting of those two cats' energy or your energy. What energy are you putting out for those cats is divine, and it's strong and it's powerful.
I love that reminder that I am the leader of this household. And I was thinking about this yesterday. It really, I don't know how normal people take care of cats. I find it extremely reflective and it's challenging in the way of it's really such a clear mirror for me. It does start with my energy, and they yeah, I just I find it constantly being reflected back at me, and I think it encourages me to be really on my toes and aware as often as possible.
And that's my point, and and you are. And there was someone that I know they don't listen to the show, so I can say it, but even if they were listening, this is just the truth. Someone that I met with, one of my ex students here, exercise students. She's going on a trip, long trip, maybe 2.5 weeks, and she's got this dog, and it's an older dog. And she says, I'm so worried. Well, she loves to worry. I mean, she loves it. Well, scratch that. I don't know if she loves it, but she worries. And she says, my dog doesn't eat unless I'm there. I'm just so worried about my dog not eating. And then I said, well, you can change that. You can change. I didn't say this to her because I already know, but you can change the energy. You can teach your animals through energy. And why somebody would scratch that, because now I'm making a judgment, scratch that. But it's just interesting that I know if that was my dog, you know what? I would do what you're doing, Nathan, which is to be conscious of my energy. And
Well,
that is and that is love and acceptance to me.
mm, well, loving the cats is being conscious of my energy, and that it's starting there. And you're reminding me of when I took your class in Vegas, and you're talking about worrying and worrying about other people, and does it do them any good worrying about them? And that really something resonated with me, for that I heard that in a new way. No, it's not doing any good for them for me to worry. And it reminds me too of Caesar. We haven't watched it together in a long time, but we used to watch Caesar, the dog whisperer,
Oh,
and that was such a light too of truth, of starting with the owner. When he came over to work with the animals and the dogs, he observed the whole situation. Remember, not sides. It's not the dog versus the human. It's no one's on anyone's side. But he did start with the leader, which was the human.
and back to the worry part, if anybody out there, and this is just a fact, if anybody out there worries about someone else, don't consider that love or caring. It's not. It's actually control and manipulation, especially if you tell them, I'm worried about you. That means you need them or want them to change, change how they're acting so you don't worry.
Well, I'm worried for all the worriers that just heard you say that.
Well, don't worry anymore. Well, yeah, keep worrying then. Good.
Well, are you saying I should ixnay on the worry A?
I say yes. Please ixnay on the worry A as soon as possible.
Since possible. All right. Well, that was fun. What else?
Your turn.
Okay, well, let's just scoot on over to familiarity. Familiarity.
Familiar, familiarity,
Familiarity.
familiar. Yeah.
Familiarity. And I heard this yesterday about a meditation practice and how that's all that's really happening in meditation. There's nothing that's being cultivated that's new. There's nothing that is being learned. It's just it's just settling into a space of familiarity. I already know this. I already know my wider perspective, my wiser lens, my higher self. I've been there before. I know what it feels like, and we're just coming back to that space. So I like that. It helps me not have the perspective that I'm changing myself, or I have to change out of who I am. I have to keep learning, taking more in. I mean, I am learning and I am growing, but that space is already known to me. That wisdom, yeah.
Well, which me are you talking about, and which I are you talking about?
Oh my goodness. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you've only been listening this week, just know that she's really been on this identity kick. Who is the me? Who is the I? Who are you referring to when you say I? She's been using Rebecca, talking in the third person. And I have to say it's proven effective. She's a lot calmer and nicer and funnier and clearer and wiser. It's just bugs me to keep hearing about it.
Well, I'm going to throw
It
this
bugs
back.
my identity. My bad.
It bugs your person because either you're your person or you're the present. So it bugs your person because your presence is really okay with anything I do and anything I say.
Well, that's true.
And we were on the phone the other day. You call me maybe once a month. It was a really good call.
That's not true.
It isn't true, but it's funny. No.
No, it's sort of funny.
Okay. So anyway, we were on the phone for maybe, I don't know, 5 minutes, three
Uh,
minutes.
Come on now.
Okay. Okay. We were on the phone for
Tell
about,
them how often we talk and how often you text and how often we're doing voice memos and FaceTimes. You're all up in my grill. Let the people know.
as well I should
That's
be.
right, as a mother should be.
You're right. I do have a tendency to exaggerate just for the humor side.
Yes, yes.
Always the clown. And we came to the conclusion that I'm a cross between Lucy and Judge Judy.
Yeah, that's a good one. I think you're Lucy, Judge Judy, and then there's something else. There's a
Jesus.
close. It's close. Maybe not Jesus himself, but something like that.
Mm.
Maybe an Oprah. I know that might be a little
Not a
insulting.
little insulting. That's very insulting. But I didn't say that out loud, did I? Boy, oh boy, does this guy know how to get under my craw.
Well, it's true. We got a little, huh? Lucy, Judge Judy, Oprah. I'm into it.
Okay, your turn. Uh, Dick Van Dyke, Felix the Cat, and Mighty Mouse.
Ooh, I like mine. You gave me good ones.
I just came up with them quickly.
I think those were very instinctual. But wait, what were you saying? We were talking and what on the
We
phone?
we were talking on the phone, and I said I better get off the phone before I say something to bother you or irritate you. And then you said,
And I said, well, it's too late for that. And it was funny because that was a short conversation.
"Okay, next topic.
All right.
Do you have a topic, a lesson, or what
Yeah,
you?"
and this is what we were talking on the phone when I was out of town in New York last week. I just loved it. We both had a moment because we talked about having a residency in another place, residency in Oregon. I talked about having a residency in New York. I don't live there. I live in California, but there's something calling me to have a part-time place, maybe visit a job. I don't know what it is. And so I like that moment on the phone we had where we both agree we want a residency, but we don't know exactly what it looks like or how, and we just turned it up to the universe, and then that's all we have to do about it for right now.
Well, you said it. We were talking about having different places to visit, and then you said, "But I just threw out the seed, and that's all I have to. That's all I have to do." And then we're on the next topic.
Yes. So just I guess the lesson for me is taking it one moment at a time. What do I need to do in this moment? Say it, declare it. That's it. That's all I need to do in this moment, and then lighten up the load.
Yes, start enjoying. I want to share something. I was at one of there's a restaurant in Roseburg. It's a very in Roseburg, Oregon. Oregon. It's a very small town, 24,000 people. And when I first moved here, I said, "Oh my gosh, this restaurant is here, the Sizzler," which is archaic. I mean, the food isn't organic, but it's the Sizzler, and I hated it. But now it's one of my favorite places to go for lunch. And I've been there twice on this trip. And the first time, this waiter who was just very attentive, nice, accommodating, service oriented. "Hello, can I get you anything else?" What, just overly giving. And after a while, after the fifth, "Do you need anything?" Especially while I'm chewing, now my ego, my lower self, my person is getting annoyed. But I managed to get through it. The second time I went, sure enough, he's there. And now he knows me, back and forth and back and forth. And now he's even more attentive if that's "Can I get you anything? Do you need another more napkins?" Because now he knows I like extra napkins. "Do you need more napkins? You want more one more ice cube in your glass?" Just on and on. And then I said, I'm going to be coming to the Sizzler more often on this trip because this is a little bit a longer trip. And I just love sitting there and eating the salads, and the fried chicken is so good. But I pull off the skin, but it's just so good with the salad. Anyway, I said, after the sixth, "May I get you anything else? Are you okay? You need anything else?" He's interrupting my flow. This is my person. He's interrupting my flow. He's annoying me now. And I said, I gotta tell him. And one time he passed by me and I was on the phone, and then he left me alone. He's, "Oh, you're on the phone." I said, "Okay." So he knows how to leave me alone. How do I ask him in a spiritual way? How do I ask him to stop asking me if I'm okay? That if I need something, I'll wave my hand. "Hey, hey." How do I do that? Lovingly. And I was sitting there coming up with this because life really is a strategy. If you are serious about valuing peace and contentment, there's a strategy that goes with all of it. And I said, "Okay." He came over. "How are you doing?" And I said, when you, and then I stopped. There's no way I can ask somebody else to change who they are, to change how they're behaving, so I will feel different, so I will feel better, so I won't feel bugged. It's my job. And I came up with, I just really want to say that your energy is good, and I really appreciate the service, and I appreciate you. You always go far and beyond. And I came up with that. And he says, "Yeah, you have really good vibes." And then I had to leave it at that. I couldn't. Asking someone else to change either the way they talk, how they talk, what they do, so I will feel differently is not their job. It's mine.
Wow, what a really good really long story about not changing someone's behavior. It was really good, and I love listening to you. What are you doing?
Oh, okay. Oh, there you are. Oh, I
You
dropped
dropped
something.
something?
Yes.
Yes. Well, going all the way back to some nonsense in Falderall, I grew up loving Sizzler for one reason because they had all you can eat fried shrimp, and we used to go to the Sizzler. I couldn't even believe, and this is when I didn't even have a job. I didn't really have a concept of money, but I knew when something was free, and I knew when something was going to keep coming, and that shrimp kept coming. I loved the Sizzler, and that's all I ate, just a plate of shrimp over and over. I haven't been there in quite a while, so congratulations on it becoming your new favorite spot.
But they don't have Sizzler in any big towns, cities anymore. That's what I'm saying. They're
No, not in the big cities. No,
yeah, they got rid of them.
it's dying. The
It's
Sizzler,
dead.
the Sizzler is fizzling.
The Sizzler is sizzling and fizzling, and there's only one in Roseburg, Oregon, in the whole country, I believe.
Well, that's doesn't surprise me, and I love your story. I really I was quite surprised. I was agape at my mouth was agape at hearing your response. I thought for sure you were going to say something. I was getting bothered at just I know what that's like at a restaurant and the waiter keeps coming by, whether I'm by myself or someone else. How are you doing over here? Can I get you anything? Still working on it? Well, I don't know. I mean, this isn't about you. It's about me and my meal. Do you want to sit down and join me? Or I mean, who's working here? I feel like I'm working to serve you. So anyway, I really am floored at your response. It's very sweet and universal, and I'll be curious to see what happens if and when you go back.
I plan on going back today, but I don't think he, yeah, yeah, at least,
Oh,
yes, later on, but he may not be there when I go back because I'm going to go back in the evening. But I also want to say that he always came and asked me, how was I doing when I had a mouthful of food?
it's even worse. I would give myself for me, it's important that I know I don't want to change anyone or control anyone, but it is important for me to give myself permission, whether I do it or not, to be honest with what I'm feeling and what I need and what I don't need. I need what I want is to eat my meal and wave you down if I need you rather than you come to me. And whether I say that or not, I don't know.
Well, good luck with saying it.
Well, thank you. It's part of my practice.
Next topic.
Next topic is related to you and Roseburg. It's actually more of a prompt for you. I'm sure I can have a few things to say as well. And it's about your blueberries because that's one, I think, main reason why you're there. You sent me a lot of videos and pictures, and one of them you said it was a spiritual experience. And I thought about you. I didn't know you were there for that long, standing and picking them. I don't know what you're doing other than walking around picking them, eating them. You're out in nature. It's really beautiful. So I just was curious about that spiritual part of the blueberries. If
Okay,
you
well,
don't mind.
you keep talking. I'm going to go get a package out of the
Oh,
freezer and
all
show
right.
show the
Oh,
audience these blueberries.
all right.
Hold on. Keep them interested, even though that's my job.
Well, this might be time actually for a break. Can keep you interested by giving it some space.
Okay, stop. Stop being interesting.
Isn't the refrigerator a little farther away? Don't you need to grab another bag of blueberries?
Oh, okay.
No, 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 no.
No.
Just stay here. Don't
Look,
leave. Don't leave.
look at this. Look at this. Oh, by the way, if you're on Noomer Vibe, we're live on YouTube on my YouTube channel, Rebecca Norrington. Look at this package. Can
Now,
you see
those
how
look,
big they are?
I was just going to comment, those look bigger. They look, I mean, these organic foods, not organic, but these right from the ground, right from the farm foods, they do look different.
Hold on. Let me see. Oh, wait, let's see. How do I show this on camera? You know what? I have to slow down. I'm up here speeding up. Let me slow my energy down.
Oh, thank goodness.
You
I,
know, I
I think
probably with oops.
I think we got it. Oh, there we go. I think we see the blueberries. We know it. Yes.
Look at how big these blueberries are. They're the
Yeah.
size of marbles. How's that?
That looks good. They look really good and they're frozen.
I have 10 of these and I have blueberry suitcases. I have 3 blueberry suitcases. Keep everybody busy.
I like that awareness of slowing down. I need to do that for myself often, whether I'm over here with the cats, driving, talking, teaching, eating, just slowing it down. Love that. Now those look like they're coolers too. Yeah.
Yes, they are coolers. I have 3 of these and let me just start. When I first moved to Roseburg, this is going to be a really quick story. One of my friends, one of my students, took me blueberry picking, and I just went crazy. I've been cherry picking, I've been apple picking. There's something about, well, that's a story. That's a story. But these fields go for acres. And to pick blueberries, you just kind of grab them and you just pull them real gently. And they're long. I'll send you the video, Nathan. They're just long rows and rows and rows of blueberries. But these particular blueberries are called top shelf blueberries. And those are the biggest ones. And the reason why I was here for so long is because you never know when they're going to be ripe. So I have to cover a lot of time so I know that I'm there when they're ripe. And last
Mm.
year, last year I was a little early, but it's just something. And the owner of the farm was gracious enough to give me my own field. There was no one around, and I just up and down 3 hours of picking, 3.5 hours the first day, and then 3 hours the second day. It's just relaxing to me. For me, maybe somebody else would feel different, but for me, it's heaven. And I could have
Mm.
gone back the next day and picked more, but I only have so much room, and I can only in my suitcases, and I can't just keep picking blueberries every day that I'm here.
And I'm assuming that the first time you picked it to now, especially being out of town, that you seem really prepared. You know, you have all the coolers because they melted or one time or yeah.
Yeah, one time my plane was delayed, and it was delayed for hours, and so the blueberries melted. I mean, it didn't melt, but they defrosted. Scratch that. They didn't melt, but they defrosted. And then I just froze them again, and they were fine.
I just yeah, I'm picturing myself in an open space, acres and acres, and then now I'm listening to you picking blueberries. It's just a different, it's not apples, cherries, the size is different, the color. You're eating them, right? Or okay.
Yeah, you can eat as many as you want. Anytime you go to a you pick farm, whether it's nectarines, cherries, apples, strawberries, they always let you pick. They always let you eat while you're picking.
So nice. I just want to just Google. This is for me and for anyone who cares. I did a Google blueberry benefits. Blueberries contains vitamins, minerals, antioxidants that may provide many health benefits, heart health, rich in vitamin K, anti-inflammatory, cancer treatment, diabetes management, bone health, brain health.
Yes, and so people ask me, "What do you do with them?" And I put them in my smoothie. I'm practice having a smoothie every day, and I put them in my smoothie every day.
Well, thank you for sharing that. That helped actually slow me down and just get me into nature and in my energy, even though I'm not there. I can feel the energy of it and thinking about your videos and just picking it's so so natural, so primal.
And I have to say, there are people that were there, and they pick fast, 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 pick, 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 and the blueberries drop into the bucket. You can hear them, boop, 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 boop. And then I just pick them slow like this, every one slow, and every blueberry touches my hand,
Mm.
and that's 40 pounds.
Well, that makes them really special too, because they're blueberries from that farm and blueberries from you that you picked.
Next topic.
It's very heartwarming.
You want to shed a tear?
No, I could feel it bubbling up, but I don't need to shed a tear.
Well, let me. Okay, enough of that. Next.
Well, you are a blubberer, and it's one of my favorite things about you.
You like me crying? Happy
Well,
tears?
well, not too. Well, so, not all the.
Right.
Well, so my next topic is you said, I don't know if you used the word, well, we've talked about addicted to drama, addicted to, and I'm coming to now this past week I'm thinking, okay, I can have an addiction, a habit, a whatever to anything, including an emotion. And one of them is what I would call a victim. Oh, poor me. Oh, here, miss, poor me again. Oh, my life, poor me. And and I do see myself. Well, what was different this week is seeing what's really going on. And I was putting away the dishes. No one, I'm living by myself. I'm the only one that's going to be putting away these dishes.
You know, you can come and move in with your mother, by the way.
That's
Even though you're
true.
39 years old. Come on. Come back. Come back. Come back
Come
home.
back, come
Come
back,
back. Come back.
come
Come
back,
back. Jack. Come back.
come back.
Come back.
I know. No, I appreciate the invite. I know the invite is there. So it is, well, I will say it is by choice, at least at the moment, to live alone and be the leader and the sole provider of this family over here, this feline family. And putting away the dishes another morning, another Tuesday, whatever, Wednesday morning. Then I got to get the cat food. Then I got to get ready. Then I got to go. And I just felt I was just getting into victim mentality and thinking, and just I'm in this small, humble home and putting away more dishes, and it just never ends. And is it ever going to get better? Am I ever going to have a bigger kitchen? And that energy. And it's not the only emotion and energy I feel addicted to, but it is one of them. And I think just even having that awareness, you talk about the identity, if that's what Nathan does every once in a while, it's nice to know that, so that I can come back to what's familiar. Like I said, come back to what is known, what is truth.
Well, what I want to say, and the one of my biggest challenges, one of my challenges is to separate myself from that Rebecca identity. And you use victimhood. I'll use, because mine is different. I have some, that Rebecca does have an identity. It's the not poor me, why me. It's I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to threaten. I'm ready to justice if it's not correct. I'm just so ready. And the awareness is the work. The awareness is the work, and knowing that identity that I believe is Rebecca, okay, fine, but it's not me. And for me, it's just knowing the difference. and watching and the practice now. I already talked about Moji on YouTube, Mooji, and just being practicing observing this identity that's poor me, or this identity that is quick to threaten, or quick to fight. That's what I want to say, fight. It's just observing without identifying, and it's a practice. By the way, before I go on, my book that's out on Amazon now, I'm going to put it up. It's called Program for Unhappiness. And if you're watching me on YouTube, it's on my YouTube channel, Program for Unhappiness. And I, not to, but I just, it's an easy book to read. And there's things in it talk about that in my identity, and letting go of that identity. That's not who I am. I can watch myself twirl and go in circles, and like you said, accept it, but it's not me.
Mm. Yeah. So what a relief. Well, I love that book. I love that cover of the book, and I love the plug too of it's easy to read. Things we talked about. It's coming right from you. It's coming from years and years of trying things out that work for you, and I'm trying things out that work for me. And the other piece of that, it's not me, is sprinkling an element of love on that entity, on that person, that identity that does do the victim, that does do the drama, that does do the control. Is how can I come from that perspective of loving that?
Accepting that.
Accepting, loving, laughing at it, endearing, whatever it is. And I that might be a little fake it till I make it situation where I'm just practicing. Maybe I don't love it all the way, but I'm gonna act like I love it. Just that's my, I feel like, my next level, because I don't like that identity. I don't like that energy.
Who doesn't like that energy?
Right.
And then now you're reminding me, which is something that I practice, is just keep all of this light. What is the seriousness of going in and out of identities, and letting that identity, allowing that identity to come out. So can we make some jokes? You started it. Oh, poor me. I have such a small kitchen. Well, that sounds, what do they say? It sounds like a first world problem.
Yes,
Such a
very true.
small kitchen. Oh, my refrigerator needs to be bigger. So the lightness, the fun.
It is a first world problem. That's why it's a little, it's just hard to admit, but yes, it is first world. And yeah, I want to lighten it up. Lighten it up. If listen, if I can lighten it up, I will, and I would have lightened it up before if I could have.
And that's why your mother, who says she's always 5 seconds away from a laugh or a joke.
Right. Yes, you are. And yeah, well, I guess to close it out, you sent a couple really good texts to me, being there about just living in the moment, not needing to plan. You said you're not really planning your time, and just trusting in that flow.
Yes, no planning. I forgot one more thing that's happened. I think it's I think it's an interesting story. So I was sitting in the river, actually sitting in the river with the oh, there's two stories, with the water flowing over. It was really hot, and I was taking pictures, selfies and movies. And then I said, it sure would be nice to have somebody to take a picture of me sitting in the river, as opposed to me taking my own pictures, just to have it, and even from behind. And I was in that river for almost 3 hours, 2.5 hours, and yes, I got a little sunburn. And then at the end, toward the end, There was this woman, a young girl in her early 30s, and she came by, and of course she scared me, so I screamed. "Ah!" You know how I scream when I don't expect anybody around. I'm a screamer, and she scared me, and so she thought I fell in. She said, "Are you okay?" Because I was just sitting there. "Are you okay? Do you need help?" I said, "No, I'm good." And then I said, "Can you take some pictures of me sitting in the river and then just text them to me?" And she did. She took pictures from the front, took pictures from the back. She posed me. It was a whole deal, man. It was
How
really nice.
fun.
Yeah, it was really nice. She had an Android, and then I gave her my number. I'm yelling because it was loud. I'm in the rapids, and it was loud. So I gave her my number more than once. I gave her my name, and of course, up in the mountains, it's the cell service for my phone doesn't work. But do you know that I never received those pictures? And I even thought, I said, I may never even get these pictures. But I was thinking it would be nice to have somebody take them, and never got them. And it's what, 4 days later, 5 days later, no pictures. So that's another example of letting go, eliminating all expectations. Because in the book, Program for Unhappiness, I list 56 program behaviors. And one of them is having expectations or attachments to an outcome. No pictures came. It's 4 days later, no pictures of me in the river. And so what?
What a good story. That was a double story punchline of you wanting someone to come. This girl comes out of nowhere, and then you don't have the pictures. Wow. We've talked about, my stories with losing pictures, losing the camera, videos that have been erased. I mean, that's an easy one for Nathan to play the attachment, come from the attachment perspective, the identity perspective. Easy one for Nathan to be attached to. I'll just share a really quick story as we wrap up here
I have one more
about,
story.
you do?
Yeah, but you go. I have a quick story, but go ahead.
All right, I'll make this quick too. It's I was teaching, and just a couple
Teaching.
teaching, getting ready to teach Pilates and then yoga. And my manager texted me just a couple hours before well, a few minutes before my first class started, and asked me and said the other class at the gym that's happening at the same time as my yoga class, that person is not able to come in today. They have an emergency, they're not able to come in. Can you teach their class and someone sub your yoga class? Are you okay with that? Because it's easier to find a sub for my yoga class than it is for this other class.
Okay.
And the other alternative could be canceling the class. And they're trying to do everything they can do to not cancel a class. So I asked this question, and I said what my preference was, which was I want to keep my class for numerous reasons. Keep it for the students. I wasn't feeling super energetic. The other class was a lot of energy. The yoga class is low energy, neutral. That's so much easier to teach. And then she said, "I hear you. Are you open to it?" And then when she asked again, I was feeling a lot of resistance and a lot of attachment to this yoga class. I was like, I have to teach this. There's no way. And all the stories of why and my preferences. And I started to send a text of what I was thinking and feeling, and then I would erase it. And I started to send another text, and then I erased that. And I just was just with my phone on the treadmill, working this out in real time. What is my response to this person, and what's my energy? So attached to what this outcome, what I thought it should be for me to be okay. And finally, I came to the conclusion that I'm open to doing this. If this is what really, not her, if this is really the universe's ask of me, I'm open, let me know. And she said, "Oh, it's okay. We found somebody," after I texted that. And it was really challenging. Yeah, it's just a story of attachment. acceptance and working through that energy of preference. I have to have it my way. I have to have it the way I thought I was going to have it. And really, it's not about her. It's about the universe. Because I didn't want to do it for her. But if this is a universal ask, that's different.
I love that. What a great story. And I love how you tell just you explain everything. Yeah. Good story. This is really fast. How much time do you, unless you have to go?
Let's do 2 minutes.
Okay, 2 minutes. I'll do it in 2 minutes. And I am going to start boo-hooing. when I, and it ties into that whole sitting in the river. When I was a little girl, I had this reoccurring dream, and I don't know how to describe it other than my hands, they felt like clay, sharp clay. My fingers felt like sharp clay, but it didn't hurt. But it was the oddest feeling, and every time I had that dream, my feet, my hands, my fingers, not hands, but my fingers would feel weird. And to this day, I'm 68 now. I never, I don't think about it, but what was that? Why am I dreaming in this clay, sharp clay? I'm sitting in the river and I'm facing the rapids. So the rapids are coming over my back. I turned around and I faced it and I put my hands in the water, both of my hands. And I got that same feeling from sitting in that river. My hands felt like a little, because it was so, the current was so powerful and it was moving my hands, sharp clay. And so everything came circled all the way back. And finally, the mystery of what does that feel like? It was in the river. And then I asked the universe, I said, well, what does that mean? And he said, nothing. Next moment.
No, it could mean nothing. It could mean a million things. I think about when we talk about time and how time is this belief in man-made perspective, and how there really isn't time, and how all of this is connected. And that moment of you in the river, I see you as a little girl too in your dream state, all these levels of consciousness. It just reminds me, it makes me think about everything being connected in a way that I might not understand, especially in the moment.
Yes.
And I like the what does it mean doesn't mean anything. I like that too, because that helps me have a light touch and just keep it moving, and a little magic moment, and then I don't need to look behind the curtain and figure out how they did it. Just to enjoy the magic.
Yes. Oh, I love it. Let's end the show with enjoy the magic. Enjoy the magic of this life, because it is. And with that,
let's go.
Making sense out of nonsense. Plus more. What I said you heard me, mother and son. Making sense out of nonsense. Plus more. What I said you heard me, mother and son.